Staging area is back. We had a weekend off of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, but we are here, the centerpiece of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross and really all of American motocross. RedBud, let's hear it for our fans out there. Let's hear it from the fans. It's RedBud. Gather around. Jason Wygant, we have made a huge upgrade. A lot of times we have Jason Thomas sitting in this chair over here, but we've upgraded with none other than the Chad Reed. Let's hear it for Chad Reed.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
I'm still trying to figure out why you're coming to these races, Chad. You're volunteering your time to be part of the Scouting Moto Combine and help out the next generation of riders. I figured as soon as you were done, you'd be like, if I'm not racing, I'm not interested. No, you keep coming back.
I love it. I mean, there's a reason why I race until I was 38. You know, when you love it that much, you keep coming back. You know, I started riding at 3.5, and for good or bad, the passion never went, and it's still there. I'm going to race on Sunday, so.
Really?
Yeah. My 12-year-old's going to race, and I'm going to come out here and have a little ride as well. So.
You rode already?
I rode yesterday. I did Larocco's Leap.
Woo!
Kicked that box.
Yes.
So, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
I didn't realize is it jumpable? And the way they have it set up for amateurs? Was it designed to be jumped, or did you just jump it?
I just said I did it.
Was it supposed to be jumped?
Yeah.
Like the way it was set up,
it's Larocco's Leap.
All right.
Jump it.
The corner, the jump, it was shaped right.
Yeah, no, it was.
It was
from I haven't been here since 2014. And then the jumps changed a lot. It's not necessarily, actually, it's quite a bit taller, but it looks and feels a lot taller because they've dug the landing out. So to say I was scared is an understatement.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to case that at 40. I don't know that would be good, although it still hurts.
At any age.
Yeah, at any age.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I did it. It took me a couple of practices, but I did it, and I felt like I slept good last night because the first one, it was really muddy, and I was like, I can't do it. And I actually felt pretty good about that. And then the next one, there was like that moment when you're like, ooh, I think I could do it.
Okay.
And then it just ate at me for about 20 minutes, and then I was like, I'm going to do it.
There was an open practice? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So you just
I
had
don't know
time.
if you would say open, but, session practices.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was not a race. It was just practice.
Correct.
But
yeah.
you had 20 minutes to, at any time, you could have gone out there and just
no, I think there
it.
were like 5, they were 10-minute sessions. So
okay.
I did it in the third session.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had some time.
Yeah.
Did
so
you do it?
Took me 30 minutes to get it.
That's not bad. Do you have stories of, did you or someone on your team have these like jumping on the first lap, here's $5, we'll buy you dinner if you jump on the first lap? I've heard these stories. I think Josh Grant used to have that going all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being here, I don't want to say it was 11, and for whatever reason it just looked different, and there was a local kid on, back then we would do Friday practices. One of the local kids was doing it. I honestly don't know who he was. This 3-digit guy, and I just jumped right in behind him and followed him. But yeah, old school Larocco's Leap, for the most part, as long as you got a clean shift to third, it was always wide open. And honestly, it's not a whole lot different today. But they just shortened up the turn, so it's kind of scarier.
It's got a little harder?
Yeah, and I guess being 40 makes it even scarier.
That's pretty cool. It is awesome. You mentioned the passion for the sport. I mean, I think you tried to not eventually become racer dad. You could not stop it. It was unstoppable.
I never didn't try to be, a racer dad. But I certainly didn't push it or say, hey, kids, let's go race dirt bikes. That has to come from them. That has to be their passion. My passion should not have to be theirs. But they genuinely seem like they love it, and we're traveling the country. And, of course, I did this in the 80s, 90s as an amateur in Australia, and I think that gap from Australia to America is a big gap anyway. But in the generations, since then, man, it's really impressive to come to, just the fact that amateurs are getting a ride in what I would consider the best facility in a motocross track in the whole entire world. And let me tell you, I've been all over the world, and I've rode a lot of different places, and it's always amazing. And that feeling of riding the track yesterday since, the first time since 2014, all those memories come rushing back, and and a lot of things have changed, but yet nothing's changed.
No, we know the spirit of RedBud. There's no doubt about it. And we have a guest here we're going to bring up who embodies everything that is RedBud. I'm gonna say he's your own. I'm just going to say it. Why not? He embodies all that is RedBud. We're bringing Aaron Plessinger on up on staging area. Come on over.
What's up, AP?
Yeah, AP. You, I believe, said last year you're kind of like the mascot. for RedBud. Represent the spirit of RedBud. You guys down with that? Is that cool? You can rep? Yes. Awesome to have you here. First of all, we were a little scared after High Point. We weren't going to see you racing anymore. So first of all, talk about that. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I twisted my ankle pretty good at High Point, and it was a bummer because I was riding really good, and I felt like I was getting my stride, and unfortunately I just washed the front, twisted the ankle, but overall I felt all right. It's still a little painful, but we're getting after it, and it's good to be back here at RedBud. I had a really good year last year. Not to mention my visor fell off about the second lap on the first moto last year. I think I was battling for the lead, so I like to call myself the flying bullet around this place. But no, it's good to be back here, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yes, so you're prepped up. Like, is there any leftover, or are you able to get your normal riding training, ankles good, and you're ready to go out there and run up front?
Yeah, I had a good 2 weeks. The weekend off was actually really, really good for me, and I'm ready to go. Starts are looking good. I'm feeling good. I got some swagger for tomorrow. So so hopefully you guys can check out the helmet and boots I got for tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, a little flare on the gear.
Yes,
like
sir.
Alpine Stars pulled through.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I'm trying to figure out how to classify your season here. You had an injury in Supercross. Okay, I'm going to tell you the results probably aren't what you wanted at the beginning of the year. No podiums yet. How much of it is like injury? How much of it is just other stuff? Like, where are you, and how do you rate how the first 4 rounds went?
I was definitely behind coming into the season, but overall, a couple top 10s. I'd like to be better, but it is what it is, and I'm taking it for what it is because the way I broke my arm in Supercross was not an easy break, not a real common break that I did. So coming back from that was tough. So I'm taking it as is. I did struggle in the first couple rounds, but now with this weekend off, I had some good motos. Bike's feeling good. I'm feeling good, and from here on out, I think top 5s and podiums are what I'm shooting for.
You came into High Point, and I talked to you before practice. All of a sudden, you were like way more stoked. So there's something that you figured out. Something has broken through, right?
Yeah. We've done a lot of testing with the bike. And before High Point, we finally found something that kind of clicked with me. And before that, I was kind of struggling with the bike and with setup, and we finally got that figured out. And there's still some little things we're tweaking on, but overall, the base setting of the bike is where I like it, and hopefully it works good here.
It is funny. We hear this all the time. A new bike comes out. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's not. Chad, I believe you've been through that a time or two.
I would say.
And what is it like? Do you sometimes know, Chad, you're like, man, it's not going to get fixed in a year? Or do you know that at some point we're like, this is going to be a multi-year process? You've even just changed brands altogether when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard when that happens when you love your bike and you're a part, it just feels like the thing was made for you. And then you hear all these rumblings, oh, we got an all-new bike. I remember being excited about that word. Now it scares the hell out of me.
Okay.
Because, you just don't know which direction it's going to go.
Yeah.
And you look at where KTM has come from the first factory edition of, I think that was 16, when Dunge, maybe 15, when Dunge started, going on a tear and went 3 Supercross championships in a row. I think KTM, the evolution was so steep. And not saying, because I personally haven't rode the new bike, and I ride a KTM myself and can't wait for the new bike. But at some point that has to level, or you have to, take more risk as a company, and seemingly maybe that's what's happened in this generation bike, and they've taken a while to figure that out. So it's not fun when you're having to figure that bike out, but I think that AP would attest that at some point there feels like there's potential in a bike, and sometimes not, and it seems like there's potential there because the riders have all been, getting stronger.
Yeah. You and Cooper said the same thing. Like, the bike is good. We're just trying to get it exactly where we need it for what we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's overall, it's a really, really good bike for, off production, and then you start to put these factory parts on it, and you start getting into some things that you wouldn't really, I don't know, you don't expect them to act like they do when you put them on the bike.
Yep.
And we just got to sort through all that stuff, which we have, and we're finding out how good this bike can be. And I think we're just kind of breaking the surface on what this bike can do and what this bike's potential actually is.
It is the crazy thing when you think about that, the things that you would need from a bike, let's say especially Supercross, which is really specialized. It's not what most of the fans out here are doing. You're looking for a bike that maybe does something in whoops, which is an obstacle that most people that buy that bike off the showroom floor would not ever even do. So what you're asking and hoping a bike does well, and what the production line is asking and what they hope do well, I mean, sometimes it jives, Chad, but I got to think sometimes those things are not the same.
It's funny when you think about it and you break it down. No production bike ever goes through simulation of, hey, we need this bike to go through the whoops.
Yeah.
But most of the time they get it right, which is, as an athlete, you're thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, yeah, generally that bike is never made to go through a set of whoops. It's never made to have suspension that only literally moves this much, And so when you start, like, in AP's words, when you start throwing all these factory parts on it, you give it more horsepower, you stiffen up the suspension, just things genuinely act a lot different, and you have to figure out where you need to tune it.
Yeah, and then here we are on the outside being like, oh, you see that bike going through the whoops? Like, we're judging like that's a bike we should buy or not.
You can judge. I judge.
Yeah, but you might actually take it through whoops. You might actually care how it looks in whoops. Let's talk RedBud here. You soaked up the atmosphere. You're on Team USA, actually a few years ago.
Yep.
And this track, can we say it's local? Local enough?
Yeah,
driving
I would
distance
say,
from where you grew
about
up?
4.5 hours from
okay.
me, yeah.
So you got the vibes here.
Yeah, I love the vibes. I mean, I got my Pure American shirt on.
Okay.
I'm ready to rumble, man. I love this place. I love the fans it brings out here, and just the whole vibe of this place is awesome. It's my kind of people up here. I grew up racing here, and you could say it's a hometown track for me.
Did you actually do local races here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I actually did qualifiers, regionals up here. I did a couple local races up here, but throughout my whole amateur career, I was at least up here twice or 3 times a year.
Okay, even when you weren't in the woods.
Yeah.
Downtime, even when you weren't in the woods.
Yeah. This is a track I always liked coming to when I would get out of the woods.
Earlier when it was raining, you wanted to put your gear on. Huh?
Yeah, no, I was praying for more rain.
I don't know if you're in luck. I think tomorrow's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's looking like sunny, but hey, last year was sunny, and I did pretty good last year, so we'll bring it back.
Look back hole shot last year?
Yes, sir.
Oh, talk about that, dude. The look back hole shot.
Dude, yeah. So I actually didn't really have it planned that I was going to do that. I knew I was going to do something, but I was talking to my buddy the night before, and he was like, dude, if you get the hole shot, you got to do something. Like throw your arm up or something. So when I did get the hole shot, I was kind of just looking beside me to see, like, if anybody was there. And when I got, like, halfway around, I remembered what my buddy said, so I just leaned my head back even more, and it made for a couple good clips.
Yeah, that's good.
It felt pretty good too.
That's pretty good. Chad was talking about he jumped Larocco's leap yesterday. Good job, Chad.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah,
no pressure.
Can you match him?
I'll try.
But he was saying that the turn has gotten a lot shorter. Has it gotten harder through the years from your experience?
Yeah, definitely. Especially in 2018, I think, they had
a roller.
Yeah, well, no, I think that was, they brought that in for the Nations, but before that, they had that loop around, like, kind of gator tail, and then you would come back. So on the 250, I jumped it from the inside, and that was like, it was so gnarly, and then, but it was a lot easier then. But last year, I had to stretch it on the 450. So hopefully it's not a lot harder than it was last year, because it was a stretch last year. But I think we'll get up in the air. We'll put on a show for the fans.
Okay. He's got it, right? He's got Larocco's leap. He's got it. Okay. Also, the other side of the track, they threw in some big stuff over there nowadays, too.
Okay,
And I don't know if you checked it out today. They put in like a sand wall. Have you seen any of this yet?
I haven't seen it. That's news to me.
I know you love wall jumps, Chad.
I do not.
They got one of those in there. I don't know what the plan is, if it's passing or slowing guys down. But that jump over there is pretty big, too.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yep. The triple on the pro section.
Yeah, the triple on the pro section.
Yeah,
before you got a wall now.
Our amateur combine kids they said it was bigger than they thought. Like it was a pretty much wide open on 250. So.
I'm actually curious. What did they think of the track? Okay, because people are immediately texting me about the combine. Who's looking good? Who's doing what? And they're like, is the track really rough? What did the riders think from the amateur kids you got to talk to? Did they feel like it was tougher or technical or rougher than they expected?
Yeah, like a couple of the kids after I haven't really got to talk to them after the second one, but after the first one, generally everyone was like, that was the hardest track that I've ever rode.
Wow.
And I think that it's 25 plus 2, which is their longest moto that they've probably had to do in a race condition. I think that contributes. But the track is really rough. Like, it's funny to say, but I think that the track was rougher today than it will be tomorrow in a sense of how we would ride it. We will get bigger braking bumps, but the accelerating and things like that, it doesn't get that sharp edge like we kind of accelerate, longer gears, faster bikes. So the track develops a lot differently. So I think some of our elite team riders even struggled with bike setups and things like that today on the track that was a little bit more amateur bumps and things like that.
I see, right, because there's mini cycles and novice classes, so it developed. So it didn't look gnarly from the outside with huge whoops, but it was rough.
It was really rough.
It was rough.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't go out there. You didn't get out of the tent.
The first two
it rained and you didn't go out there.
Yeah. Once it rained, I was out.
No, I think
first two turns off the start were nice and smooth.
Track was really. I thought it got pretty rough. The rollers got really steep. Where tomorrow, I don't believe you'll see them get as steep. The braking bumps will be bigger tomorrow, but they're not right after you land off of the jump right over here going into the leap. It reminds me a lot of like when I was racing outdoors, we would have Friday press day.
Yep.
And we would ride on the amateur track, and you'd almost be like, man, my bike sucks. I don't know what happened, but from yesterday to today, it sucks. And sometimes you would like, okay, just acknowledge that the bumps are not like what we're used to. But yeah, a few times we've turned the bike upside down on a Friday night and then had to go back again on Saturday.
No, yeah, because you get so many more,
yes.
like more people on the track, and it gets those like chatter bumps, like not as big as ours, but
many more of them.
Many more, like
okay.
A lot more. And the track, it gets gnarly on an amateur day.
Yeah.
What do you think this scouting combine deal? Something you wish you could have done? It's new, way before your time now.
I think so. I sprouted in my B year, so I think it would have been good for us to try. I think it's definitely an awesome idea that they're doing this and getting these kids out here on the tracks that we ride. And I think it would have been a little bit more beneficial for me coming through. But
Yeah, that's a good point. You did all of a sudden go to another level as a B rider, so who knows? It would have been right around this time. The idea is scouting, right? We know who's good, but maybe there's a couple kids we hadn't noticed yet that get on the radar. That could have been what happened to you if you had this race back then.
Yeah, true. And I think I was still kind of in the woods scene back then, and I think it would have been beneficial for me to get out here and maybe ride with the top dogs of the A class.
I tell you this story all the time. Remember, I think you got second to seeing Cirillo in a Moto once on an 85, and I'm like, good for Aaron. He can always say he got a podium at Loretta's. Good for him, man. And then you got a bunch of titles and factory rides and Supercross championships. Yeah, you definitely improved.
Really turned it around.
You did. You really improved from there. All right, we'll let you go hang out with your. I don't know. You got your family here? Did they come?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're actually camping out here tonight.
Solo, didn't you?
Huh?
Did you do some with solo?
Yeah.
You
Well,
did?
I actually went to Colorado solo. So.
Wow. Okay, they're back.
Yes, they are back at full force. Full force.
All right, Aaron Plessinger,
Alrighty.
Mr. RedBud. Let's congratulate him and thank you for coming by. Thanks, AP. He's going to have fun tomorrow no matter what. Great point, though, you bring up about these bumps. That's interesting. We need to take a break. Do we take a break first? Remember, I guess first? All right, let's do it. All right, we got another coach. This is more. I was going to ask more about the amateur combine track, so why not bring in one of our other coaches? Another former pro out here. Let's hear it for Michael Byrne. Yeah. Chad was talking about the track. I wanted to go back to that. Yeah, everyone's asking me from the sidelines, like, because it's not a live TV show, the Moto Combine. So, like, what are you seeing? How rough does the track look? So Chad's saying it's a lot rougher than you probably think it is on the outside when you add in all the other classes that rode today and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different levels of guys. You got 60s, 80s.
Yep.
I mean, look, if you went and looked at these rollers right here, you'd be like, I ain't hitting those things.
They're that nasty.
Yeah, they're like ski jumps.
Like the how rough it gets in the turn before it.
That was crazy.
If you take a visual of it today, they're very sharp, right? Like they're very abrupt. Tomorrow there would be more of a flow, the flow because of just the caliber of rider and how they, execute the turn and the gear shifts and things like that. It just develops a little friendlier.
Dude, that turn is nuts. The turn before the roller is
what
we're talking about.
I'm telling you,
in the turn.
The track right now
like
is rougher right now than it will be tomorrow. I promise you.
So what did you hear from your guys? And I know we stole you away, so you didn't get the chance to talk to them after Moto 2, but were they surprised how tough the track was?
Yeah, they were definitely surprised. They were also pumped, though, because it's like, especially that first practice when the track was full prep, they were like, oh, that was so sick, could pin it around the outside.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, well, just, wait a couple of hours. It's going to change. And then they come back from that motor. They're like, oh, man, the track was gnarly. They're like, how did it change that much? And I'm like, well, there's 500 bikes down there. And it's RedBud. Like, the track develops and changes a lot throughout the day. Sometimes the inside's good. Then that'll get so deep. Then you'll be back to the outside. And then the outside will get blown out. And you're like, man, I gotta deal with it back on the inside. So this track definitely changes throughout the day.
Did you think it changed? Again, we haven't let you guys talk to your guys after Moto 2. Worse now? Did it get rougher?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's way rougher now than what it was off of that first one.
Much. Especially, I don't know what they call the infield, the big bowl turn here with I think they call it a stadium section.
The Monza turn, we call it. Yeah.
Monza.
Yeah,
all right, so Monza is in Monza?
F1. Yeah.
That makes sense. I've been to Moto. I actually raced a rally car on it.
There you go.
Yeah. But, coming up to that, like I rode yesterday, and it was so gnarly. Like, I've never come out of that turn and had to, I'm like, what happened? It was just so many bumps everywhere and things like that. So, and my kid, Tate's 12 and on an 85, and it's kind of funny to hear his breakdown of the track and how it is, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, even when we walked it yesterday, I was like, it usually comes over here, and I'm like, and it doesn't look like that.
No.
So you're trying you're trying to give them advice, and you're like, oh, this is what you picture, and then you're like, oh, wow, okay, I need to rethink this before I tell you guys where to go.
So the coaching, when you two are coaches for this scouting combine, that's a big integrated part. But here's what I'm curious. A lot of these guys at the elite level, they have a coach or they have a trainer already. So how do you feel they're receiving your information when they, it's not the first time they've worked with a riding coach?
Yeah, no, I mean, all we asked them yesterday was, just try and be a sponge and take the information. And, yeah, maybe you got your guy and that's what you believe, but just, try and trust us for one day.
Okay.
And see if what we're telling you actually helps, And most of the kids were like, oh, your advice was great today. And everything that developed, they actually got to see it. So, that was pretty cool.
Pretty receptive to what you have to say?
Yeah, no, my group was awesome to work with. I think that, and you have different levels, and all of us had, I think, at least one factory guy that was out of one of the semis. And so you see that shift, right? You see the guy that's, in the back of the van, he's hardworking. And then you've got the guy, for the most part, not necessarily, I wouldn't say done the work and he's made it, but that transition is happening. He's already got the contract. It's guaranteed. And so seeing that breakdown, I think, is always interesting. But, yeah, like Michael said, it's you just ask that one day show up, take some information, take what you want, let it go through one ear and out the other what you don't want, and then, just we're here to help them,
Yeah, that's cool that they're receptive to it. And, look, you've coached a lot of riders through the years. You've been doing that for a while. I mean, are you ever out of stuff to say, or can you always see something, always add something?
I mean, when you're working with these young kids, there's always something.
Okay.
It's not like, it's not like you're working with Hunter and Jed, who are very technically sound, and you're But even they, even at any level, like you can still get sloppy, and you still got to revert back to like, man, why am I not sucking right now? But why am I struggling right now?
Yeah.
So you got to like, oh, I'm being so focused on this. It's like, let's just get back to the basics and then get the wheels turning again and get back on track,
That's cool. And the other thing is they packed that schedule today for these amateur kids on purpose to stress them out. Yeah. And I never understood how you guys were able to talk to people like me on race day. That's the main thing everyone says when they race, right? How nervous you are, how nervous when you know your moto's coming up. And I'm not even racing for money like you guys were. So that transition is a big thing that I know you guys try to harp in on. You have to talk to these people. You can't hide because you're nervous.
Yeah, I mean, and they honestly, once what they did today will get cut in half. I think when they
they had 2 hours of turnaround time, where at the national tomorrow it's what feels like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You haven't even stopped sweating, and you got to put your gear back on and change out the socks and underwear and get a new set of clothes on. So it's really difficult, and just so much more information. Nowadays everything's fuel injected. You're trying to download with somebody. They've got a computer hooked to your bike. Then you got to talk to the suspension guy, and there's just multiple people on the team that want your information to better you in the end result. So.
You literally have 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's not a lot of time, And if you're on the podium, you almost get really screwed because you're not even getting to get out of your gear yet. You're that 10, 15-minute window. If TV goes to a commercial right before it extends it out. It's your fault.
Sorry.
Yeah. So just things like that it's hard to teach them that. They have to experience it, But for the most part, I think that this combine gives them such a good step in the correct direction.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought was funny this morning is that the kids, they didn't really understand the qualifying and how important that first one was.
Yeah. It's something that I think that they really need to implement at the amateur level.
Yeah.
And that's an endless conversation. But
you've got a lot of ideas.
I have a lot of ideas. But, I think that Loretta's should be in that system. I think it's 2002. Why are we still picking pegs, or whatever you guys call it? You hear me. You understand that.
Yeah. I picked like the 38th one when I went to Loretta's.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I think that, you've done so much qualifying to get to that position, and I don't think it should be the luck of the draw for a good gate pick. I think that you're elite, you deserve to be fast, and you should have the first gate pick, third pick, whatever that is. That's my personal input.
Yeah.
There's tons of motos there where the guy, the best he can get is a third. Like the best he can do is a third, and then you're already a little behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, like even this morning I came back and they're like, man, I felt really good on that second one. And maybe one of my guys was like third or fourth, and I'm like, that's good, but you're lining up 10th.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, they both count. So every time you're on the track, it matters.
Yep.
So, and some of these tracks, this track was a little different today. Usually the second practice, it's usually really, really deep. So I would say sometimes at Nationals, the second qualifier is usually faster.
I was a little bit surprised today.
But it was way faster than
I think
the
as
first one.
coaches, we were expecting the track to be a little quicker in the second one. But the first one was really fast. It was Southwick-ish feel to it.
It was like 2 or 3 seconds for most of the guys.
Yeah, no, it was, for the most part.
That's how much slower it got.
Exactly.
Yeah, on an average for each guy, it was like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, 2 or 3 seconds fast.
And I think second moto was the same thing, wasn't it?
You took us away.
Sorry.
I haven't seen any.
We haven't got the breakdown.
Okay, I was watching times. I did rain, so I don't know if that made it heavier also. It's funny. I'm glad you brought that up. Tony Caroli came over here and raced the first couple rounds, and he said that was one of the most surprising things. You get like a sight lap, and then that's it. You're on the watch, and he's still learning the track.
Tony gets like 40 minutes. He gets like 40 minutes.
Legit. Tony gets 3 or 4 practices.
Yeah.
And a race. He's qualifying. He's gate picks off of a race.
Yes.
Yeah. Byrne and I went and did a GP, and I was already sore by the time I made it to the motos.
You're like, we got a race.
I got a race. I'm tired. It's a very different atmosphere and different program. I love the American hustle bustle, the get in, get out feel. So, but then I also like the culture of everybody coming in Friday, and it's a more slow, chill program at the GPs.
Yeah. But he was surprised. I got to go fast on the second lap.
Yeah,
I've been on this track.
No, you got to do the best lap of the weekend on the second lap. Don't worry about learning the track.
Yes.
Go fast.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it was today. As soon as that pretty much green flag came out, like that next, pretty much every one of my guys and most of the field within that first or second lap. That was their best time.
Was their best lap.
Hey, whatever you did worked, man. Do I give you all the credit
I didn't
for our
do
race
anything.
winner?
I didn't.
All?
I was just standing there.
Okay.
I just say, go right here. If you go right there, good.
Okay.
If it works, it works.
It was Michael Byrne's rider who won the combine. Now, the results are not the only thing. The learning is the real point, but we will talk to our race winner, Hayden Deegan, when we come back. We're going to take a break here. Michael Byrne, thanks for stopping by.
Boys.
Great to have him as part of the combine and as part of staging area. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back with Hayden Deegan.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for professional detail or shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
Who's it going to be after 30 minutes and 2 laps? Heart rates are absolutely pinned right now. It is on right now. MAP TV live coverage, Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. How can you not respect the grit, the heart, the effort? Chet Lawrence is a 2021 Lucas Oil Pro Motocross champion.
The Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Series. This year on MAP TV.
It's RedBud and Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. We still got some people hanging out. All right. I learn the hard way all the time. You bring in someone like Aaron Plessinger, they leave. They don't stick around because I'm hosting the show. Back in, okay, yeah, one did take my picture earlier in the year, and she said she really did want my picture. I said, I don't race. You realize that. She was aware. A true story, we were here for Motocross the Nations in 2018 at the night track over there, and we had a pit bike race on Saturday night, and I swear it looked like 100,000 people. And then I'd been talking for like 3 straight hours. I needed to take a quick bathroom break. I came back. The crowd was gone. And I said to the security guys, I'm like, where's the crowd? They're like, the guy in the blue shirt left. It was Villapoto. As soon as he left, crowd dispersed. I'm like, oh, it has nothing to do with me whatsoever. Villapoto left, crowd left. Aaron Plessinger left. We lost some of our people. I appreciate you folks staying. And we will treat you to a special guest, Jason Wygant, Chad Reed. And now let's bring the winner, 1-1 Moto scores today, the Scouting Moto Combine, Hayden Deegan. I didn't get to watch too much. I watched just enough to know you did go 1-1. I didn't mess that up, right? Okay, I didn't mess that up. Grab a headset, any headset, no matter.
This one.
We're wide open on this show. We bring Hayden Deegan over here. Well, I guess first, congratulations. We say the result isn't really the point of this. It's more about the learning. But it's kind of nice to go 1-1, bro.
Yeah, definitely to prove a point, you know, so. It was the B and A combined, and yep. I had 2 good starts that helped me. It was started raining before our second moto, so and that first turn almost threw it away, but I was able to hold on to it, and I got some good gaps going, so I felt good.
Yeah, you had some good gaps. I'll give you that. We'll just put it that way for sure. What was the rain situation? Was it raining when you were on the gate or just before that?
It rained probably started raining 30 minutes before we were on the line, and then it just kept raining.
So during the moto, you were
it stopped right before we went out. Yeah.
Good timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We asked it to stop for the moto.
Yes. Yeah, we can arrange some things here at MX Sports. So we'll talk to the results in a second. Did you learn some stuff now that you look back on it?
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot on what you need to do, you know, because I was obviously racing some faster people. And just knowing line choice and stuff out here at RedBud is definitely a key to this track. And you get a little bit out of that line, and you're right in the main line. It's just so beat up. So it was good once I got in a groove.
Don't feel bad. Chad and Michael Byrne said this is about as rough as it gets. Maybe even in some ways rougher than tomorrow.
I believe so.
Yeah, so don't feel bad if you thought the line choice was
and
tough.
You've been training with all the pro guys, so you understand how the pro tracks seem to develop a little differently. This track probably felt, for the most part, almost normal because you've been amateur for so long. But that you have to feel the difference between the two. And like tomorrow, it just gets a different rough than what it does out here.
Did you notice that, mini bikes are out here today, amateurs are out there. Did you feel the track with some of those bumps?
Yeah, definitely. Like in these rollers, too, you can tell the little kids go right through them. So it just made them super big. And you get those little skinny ruts from the little amateur kids. So it's you definitely notice it.
How was the 25 minutes? It was very mild weather today, so that wasn't tough. But how was the 25 on a rough track?
That was awesome. I loved it. I was like, 30-minute moto, I'm down for that.
Okay.
So we do that literally every day, pretty much, 3 days a week, usually at the farm. So we're basically always doing that, and it was kind of just a natural thing. Get out in the lead and just hit the hammer down for 30 minutes.
Yeah, do you literally just do the exact same thing that the pro guys on Star Racing do?
Yeah, like I can usually hang with most of them during the day, and sometimes even set the fastest time at the track. So it's we're all super close.
Wow. Okay, so whatever Kitchen's doing or Justin Cooper's doing during the week, you just do the exact same.
Oh yeah, exact same training.
That's crazy how far it's come. What were you doing? How old are you now?
16.
16. Heck, you were already pro, so that's not even that crazy.
Yeah, let's don't start that subject.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to be like, if the one guy that we could talk to.
He might like my answer. The rest of the people, well, not these people, but mom, dad, team, not going to like that answer.
Yeah, you don't play the long game. You say
16,
go for it.
I mean, we've seen this kid today, and I have a lot of. He rips. I think he's the real deal. He works hard. He's on a good team and a good bike. He should be pro already. I would really, really hate to see him stay one more year in amateurs next year, but it's possible that that's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I think that today, again, you want to add that A, B. For me, it's elite. There should be B riders should go away, and it should just be elite riding in my personal opinion.
You got lots of
because, it's a system, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that you're holding back talent like this. This kid we could put him on the gate tomorrow, and I truly believe I'll go on record. I truly believe that he could be a top 5, top 7 guy tomorrow. Like, he's that good.
Woo!
Will he make mistakes? Yes. But his teammate, Kitchen, is 21 years old, and he's making the same rookie mistakes that you're going to make at 16 years old. So why not make him at 16 and fix him at 17, be a champion, move into the 450, and you make your career and you make millions of dollars and all's what you planned it out to be.
You think he could handle it? You think he'd be okay? You think Hayden Deegan would be all right? Just let Chad do the talking for you. You're
I'm going to let him do all of it.
I'll be an agent. Let's go pro. Come on, kid. Let's do it.
I'm down. Tomorrow I'm going
pro. I like
pro.
it. And 35. I know that. I've been around Hayden, and I don't want to be that guy, but I have a passion for the sport, and this kid rips. I think his heart's in the right place, and he's a fun kid to watch.
And you're doing the exact same thing. It's not like they're like, hey, man, you're so young, we don't want to put that kind of training load on you. They're already doing that.
Oh, yeah. When I get home, the first thing I do is lay down because it's just such a gnarly training day. The day's on floor, it's 104, full humidity. It's gnarly. It's gnarly training, and it's what you got to do to be the best, though. So I'm just all in for it.
Okay, so today we did some media training as part of the Combine. I'll be honest with you now. Sam, our social media coordinator, and myself, we're a little scared when you're in the room. I've never told you this because I feel like you already kind of know some stuff about that part of the game.
Yeah.
So we're always afraid we're going to say something, and you and your dad are going to be in the back of the room like, that's totally ridiculous and wrong. We know how it works.
No, you're good.
I've never really asked about that side of the game for you. I mean, look, it's a lot of extra time. It's a lot of extra stuff. And, Chad, now you're doing it, too, with your own YouTube series. Are there times you're like, man, I just want to lay down? I don't want to do this.
Yeah, especially always doing YouTube and stuff. The only reason I enjoy it is to do it for the fans, So I build a fan base coming into racing, and I do it for them pretty much. And I mean, it's a lot, filming every day while you're riding, but it's really just for the fans. So that's just I have my filmer. He just kind of stays back, and films, and I just do a lot of training.
I could ask both of you guys this. I've heard after a while you forget that it's even going on. Does that happen?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say so. I mean, when you're riding, you don't remember, you don't think of a camera out there.
Yes.
But when they need your intro, outro,
okay,
you got to
kind of.
Don't get me started on the intro, outro, Gavin.
But do you forget? Does it just become normal after a while because you're doing similar?
It is, and I think that, for somebody who lived, most of my pro career before social media and before all the cameras, and we always had the TV cameras, but for the most part, they would ask you to do something and you would do it. They would come to you. Now with social media, there's a cell phone in your face, there's a camera in your face, all these things. And what I see and what I was scared for my own children is that we all see what the Deegans have done, and they've done an amazing job. But I think that they don't realize it anymore. I think that what Hayden has going for him is a lot of things that he's going to experience when going pro. That's normal to him, And it's like you can't compare my childhood and think, oh, I grew up like this. I want my kids to grow up like that, because my kids, they don't have the the things my parents were making $40,000 a year, and then now my parents are my kids are my kids, and I've done what I've done, and so what's real to them is real to them, in my opinion, And I think that what Brian and Marissa have done really well is they've kept the kids grounded, and they're good, respectful kids for me, at least when I've been around them. And I just think that when they go pro and all these cameras and all this hype and everything like that, it's been there their whole life. He doesn't know any different. So you're gonna make mistakes, and whether it be at the farm and your YouTube channel's there's cameras there, everybody sees it, So it's kind of that same feeling, whether you crash, you don't crash, whether you crash in front of 60,000 people or a million subscribers on YouTube. It's the same feeling,
Yeah.
It's that little extra spotlight being on you you're used to.
Yeah.
Yep.
And honestly, I don't think it's fair to put that on him. He probably doesn't even, at one point in his life, he'll understand that it was just normal. But at least for me, from the outside looking in, he does a really good job, and I think that the family in general has done a good job to keep it as normal as possible.
And another thing that I think people forget, it raises your profile with the fans. It does.
Yeah.
But it also raises the profile of the sport. There are surely people watching your channel that maybe aren't watching every race. Maybe they didn't follow any racing, and it's introducing them to it.
Yeah, definitely. That's the biggest part. Most people realize what's going on, but some people are like, they don't get that, the YouTube channel and everything is just bringing more people to the motorcycle industry. So that's why I like doing it, and it's always bringing new people in no matter what. So that's why I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's big for the sport. I mean, everybody says they want to grow the sport. Yeah. That's definitely something that's going to do
Everyone wants to grow the sport, but some people just, I don't know, hate on it. But I think it's the right thing.
The hard part for you, and you probably already dealt with this, because you're high profile and you're not on TV every week yet for people. It's just like, they hear that you're good, or they watch your video. Like today, I had so many people texting me like, is Deegan good? Is he real? Is he fast? Eventually, they'll see on TV for themselves, and they can make their own judgment. But there definitely are people that are almost going to want to see someone beat you because you're high profile. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I guarantee you. I mean, I'm sure half the fans out here want me to see me get beat. I mean, it's just a normal thing.
Yep.
I say a lot of them, though, are on my side. I want to see Deegan do good. But, you have those few people that just want to obviously see me get beat because, I was I hate to say it, but the amateur kid coming up, so everyone kind of wants to, I feel like some people want to push you down a little bit, but I just focus on the people bringing you up.
Yeah. So overall, this stuff's not even running through your mind. You're just doing your deal.
Yeah, I'm just doing my motos.
That's it.
Yeah.
When did you decide? Did you know all along you were going to do this combine thing?
Yeah, I feel just 2 weeks ago. I was
oh, really?
Yeah, we're we're going to do it. We got the invitation thing or whatever. We're like, we'll do it.
It's got to be a help. I mean, you got Loretta's. It's going to be some experience that helps there too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. Especially to set a pace too, and let everyone know let everyone know my pace, because I'll be racing all these kids at Loretta's too in the B class. So it was a good race.
Not all of them. That's the problem.
Yeah, not
all
of them. Most of them were A class, but a lot of them were B class. So yeah.
I'm going to say it was alarming how big a lead you had in about 2 laps. I'm just going to say that. And again, we'll do the talking for you, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
But that's your point there, Chad. He's still in the B class. There you go.
I was on a Super Mini at Loretta's last year. Give me a break. Come on.
Yeah. Well, it comes both directions.
No breaks.
This is why I had the joke that's why I had the joke where I said to your dad would say, we'll race him when it's time. There's a system. This is the system everybody uses. Why do something crazy? This is the roadmap. We're just following the roadmap.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I just want to make sure I'm ready when I come in, because I just don't like to just portray an image where I just get beat, I want to go out there and show everyone I put in the work. So that's why we're just going to do probably ride out this year and hopefully go outdoors next year. So and that's about it.
Okay. I think he's ready now, but we'll be ready next year. So probably a year from now, you'll probably be racing pro here.
That's our best bet, yeah.
Okay. Hey, how much of a student of the sport are you? I mean, you're so darn young. I mean, this guy raced a long time, luckily.
Yeah.
Kept his name out there for a long time. But what guys did you watch growing up? Was a guy like this? Who was it when you were growing up that you wanted to be like?
Oh, yeah, I watched Chad, Ryan, James Stewart, how you used to just send it. I watched Ricky, because Ricky's like, I used to watch him just send it through the outdoor track, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, you know, I watch a lot of the guys, and I've been watching, like, recently Jet Lawrence, honestly. I'm going to be real, because he just has the next level technique, so I really just been studying how he rides and how his position is, and just trying to put that towards myself. And obviously we ride with Justin. I ride with Justin during the days. Justin, Levi, and they're winners. You know, they can win. So it's good to be training with them and see where you're at.
Because your dad raced, and then your dad was high profile on a variety of things, X Games, freestyle, rally car, all that. I think some people are like, they just said, like, same thing you said with your kids. If you want to do it, they can do it. You weren't going to push it. Was this you that wanted to become a racer and you that wanted to be a motocross guy?
Yeah, my parents, they'll say it too. They were like, we're not letting Hayden ride a dirt bike. 3 years old, and then 3 years old next, you know, I'm riding a dirt bike. So they're like, we'll never let him race though. Like I think they're like scared of me getting hurt or something, but they would not want me to race.
All right.
And I waited till I was seven, and then they let me race. So I started racing when I was 7, and that's where it all started.
You did not race till 7?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then from there, I won one race, and I was like, I want to do this more.
Yeah, there you go.
Just kept going.
But it comes from you.
Oh, yeah. All the racing is just purely, I want to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what you had to let your kids discover. Same
100%.
thing you're saying.
Yeah, just you got to find that inner passion for it. You know, I don't think that, you know, riding dirt bikes as for fun and for passion is one thing, but wanting to do it as a career or a life, it takes a certain special kind of human to chase that. So, you know, it has to come from within. I think and mom and dad can't want it more than the kid.
Great point. Yeah, I was talking to Will Christian, who's our podium interviewer and pit reporter on the shows. She was a professional wakeboarder, and she's like, there are people that live for that almost throwing up, nervous adrenaline moment. Like, that's what they live for. And, like, half the people on Earth, that's uncomfortable for them. But for you, that's what you want in life, that adrenaline.
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know. I don't really like when I'm nervous on the line. I don't like that. But like
are you able to battle it a little bit? You able to keep it down?
Yeah, I was like, when I'm on the line, I'm like, all right, breathe, because I get nervous. But like coming up to the race, I'm just so excited because I just want to go race, you know. And obviously, I want to win, so that's what I look forward to. But on the line, you're obviously nervous. But right when you take off, it's gone.
Yeah. But I mean, look, Chad, you race forever, dude. You race forever. You might still do some racing. Sunday, you're going to do some racing. That's hard to find that passion. You told me today, the 20-minute, gnarly, the hardest part, the racing, you still love that part.
Yeah, I mean, if I could sign up for 17 Supercrosses and just do main events and not have to deal with all the practices and the time qualifying.
It's great.
I would sign up again. You know, I love it. It's just going racing, the travel. Like, a lot of people get burnt out on the travel, and for whatever reason, I dig it. I love it. You know, like, ever since I was 11 years old, I've been traveling the world, and when you live in Australia or grow up in Australia, everything's far away. So everything, you know, nowadays it's a, 2-hour, 3-hour flight. It's like nothing.
I want to ask about the Australia thing. Look, the Lawrence brothers have arrived. They are here. There is no doubt about it. I mean, it is unbelievable what they're doing in the 250 class. Martin brothers battled for some wins, but not like they're taking off with the series. It's pretty crazy what they've done. They wanted to take the thing through Europe first, kind of taking a page out of your book. What do you think you gained from that? What do you think they gained? They didn't go from Australia straight to the United States.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak on behalf of the Lawrences, but for me, I never wanted to go to Europe. You know, like Europe was never in my plan. I always wanted to come to America, but America was so next level that no one gave a crap about who was in Australia racing.
Yeah.
You know, I came here on my own dime in 1999. I went to Anaheim Supercross as a supported Suzuki rider, and I remember meeting Roger DeCroster, and he was just like, he looked at me like, who the hell's this kid? You know, and you know, several years later, I won a championship for him. But
exactly 10 anniversary of that.
Yeah,
Good
exactly,
job.
2009. You know, so things can change, and nobody was – I was trying to get to America, trying to knock on that door and bash it down, to be honest with you, and nobody wanted to, you know, an Australian kid to come and try. So I had to go to Europe because there was an opportunity to ride a factory Kawasaki. It was a good bike. You know, at that point, it was decent salary. And I took the opportunity, and if I had the choice today, I definitely would recommend that. That's a great step, you know, because I think that the thing that people don't – like – Mikel Pichon, who raced here in America, I knew him, right? But outside of Mikel, a lot of the other guys, I knew them, but they didn't intimidate me, you know? Where I think if I had, as a 16, 17-year-old kid, come to America and I'm lining up against McGrath, Ezra Lusk. Do you even know who that is?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
okay. I do know.
You know, a lot of those guys at that point, I would have been, like, freaking out. And it's just more of a mental thing. And so I think that I kind of earned my stripes a little bit in Europe, found my feet, and then when I came to America, I hit the ground running, and I was fortunate to win, you know, the Lights Championship and then move into the 250 class, or 450 as we know it today.
Yeah.
So I think that, I guess, Hunter's really the one that went to Europe, right? I mean, Jet was the younger brother getting not dragged along, but he's the one that just has to go where their family goes. So I think that Jet took a lot of information on. He was really, really young. You know, Hunter trying to find his feet as a pro and as a GP rider. And as those years ticked on, you know, Jet got older and older and older, and I think he was 14 years old doing the EMC or whatever it is.
Yeah, and do well,
You know, and he started doing well, and I think that, do I believe that that's the success? I don't. But is it a piece of the puzzle? I do. I believe that.
The reason I bring it up is because they have a series over there, EMX, at Jet Lawrence race. Now, we know Jet Lawrence has talent. It's not just that, like you said. But a lot of the teams are like, man, that's a pretty good concept they have over there. And that's part of the reason the Combine is here. Like, hey, in Europe, he got to race on the same tracks, on the same weekend, and long motos. Could we do something like that? Well, here it is today. So you gained something out of this. You could have done 30 minutes, I suppose. But 25 is good.
Yeah. No, we did 30 minutes. We did 25 plus 2.
25 plus 2.
Yeah,
there you
so
go.
30
okay.
minutes. And
yep.
Yeah, it was at home for me out there. I was like, it's just another day doing motos. And I didn't have like crazy amount of pressure, but usually when we're at the farm, we're literally on each other the whole time, so you're pretty much dead after the moto. So I was like, out here I was able to breathe, you know.
Yeah.
And when you're doing the motos, you do forget to breathe sometimes. That's why the motos at the farm and stuff are a lot tougher.
Yeah.
But out here, you're like, I was prepared for it, and it was good for me.
Yep. Yeah, this is an invaluable experience. I can't believe you're just doing the same thing and racing with the same dudes during the week. That's nuts.
Yeah.
And then might be a year before you're actually racing them.
Yeah.
Chad's got lots of thoughts. Anyway, we'll hang out here for another minute or two, but we want to thank Hayden Deegan for coming by. You're supposed to probably even do more media and more debriefing with your coach, so we'll let him go. Let's hear it for Hayden Deegan.
Yeah,
Danger Boy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's awesome. Thanks for the time. We appreciate that. He had a long day.
Good ride today.
We'll wrap it up here with Chad in a minute. So that's Hayden Deegan going 1-1 at the Combine, and like I said, that was an alarming lead when I saw the second lap of the first moto, and I'm like, wow, he's gone, everybody. Chad, you've been watching the races this year when you can?
Pro stuff.
Yeah, pro stuff.
I haven't missed a race.
Okay. We have 4 winners in 4 rounds. 450 class has been really exciting. What have you seen? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's about 3 or 4 guys that are all kind of in it, and Chase seems like the guy setting the pace. You know, red plate, and you know, it just seems like if he can clean up some of his little mistakes here and there, I think that he could even have a bigger lead. And then with that said, Eli's starting to catch some traction.
Yep.
I think that there's a word that everybody uses, but he kind of has that hangover of the Supercross champion.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like it's the last few years, Supercross champions have been notorious to get slow going. And, you know, as you're so committed and you're all in on Supercross, you give up some of that headspace and that the time of outdoor testing and things like that. And he had an injury towards the end of Supercross, so I think he was, you know, possibly off the bike and trying to heal that. So I think, I think it's coming around. Kenny seems like he's, you know, rejuvenated, and he's needs to, you know, just get good starts and be there. But it seems like on any given weekend he can be a threat.
Yep. And Anderson's been good too. He's got a win, so that's been fun to have.
Yeah, Anderson got a win at Hangtown.
Yep.
And then since then it seems like it's been a little hit and miss.
Yeah.
So I think that it seems like the guys being consistent. I would say that, you know, Chase and Eli are the two, and for me, I'm rooting for Ryan Dunge. You know, I was
going to ask you about him. Yes.
I didn't know that.
You guys rooting for Dunge? Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like to call Dunge old. I mean, he's 32. He seems like a baby, but I like it. You know, like I think that anyone can stay in their safe zone and stay at home with your 2 kids, and you know, and you know, he retired at 26 years old, and I don't even think you know who you are at 26 years old. So this is something that we've always heard the rumors, right? Dunge's going to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Dunge's going to ride a factory Honda. Dunge's going to do his own team.
Yeah.
We've been hearing this for the last couple of years, and I'm happy for Ryan to act on the feeling he has.
Yeah.
And to do that, because I think that, had he have not come back, you only get older every year, right? And the opportunity gets away from you. And that's why I never walked away and why I raced until I was 38 years old, because I was more scared to retire than I was to do, like the couch scared the crap out of me. I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to, I genuinely loved being at the races. And so for me, I'm really happy to see Ryan and almost getting that podium at the last race. He's going to find his feet, and those boys better watch out.
It was impressive. I mean, he passed Roxon. He almost had the podium at one point. What do you think changes? Look, he was 40 seconds, say, back in every moto until then, and there was only 11. The team's he says he changed the bike. He didn't change much. It's up there. He saw their pace. It just clicked. Can that happen? 30 seconds worth.
And you see the evolution of the sport a little bit. If you look at Chase's style and you look at Ryan's style, they're drastically different.
Carmichael's been pointing that out.
And so I think that Ryan is having to find his feet of, what do I need to do to adapt, and he's inherited a new motorcycle. We just heard the problems and the issues and the, that moving target.
Yep.
And so he's also dealing with that side of it. And so I think he's doing a really good job, to take all that on, to find his feet, Ryan has strengths, and I'm starting to see them come out, and he's finding that happy medium of adapting new style. And so I'm excited to see. I want to see him get some hole shots and just be up front and put himself in good places. And I'm a believer. I think he can win.
Win.
I do.
Yes.
I truly believe he can win.
You guys be pumped if Ryan Dungy won a national this summer. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, they went
and
nuts
he's that
at
good. All the others are that slow. Whatever.
Okay. Hey. I mean, you had some epic battles with him, so you probably get a little twinkle in your eye when you see Dungy still out there.
Because
yes.
I mean, I seen him as a kid at 16 years old, and he was my teammate for a year, and you're just being around him, and he's and again he's 32 years old now, and he's obviously been retired for 6 years, and I genuinely am happy for him. I like that he's come back, and even if he does just this summer and ticks that box, and I think life beyond this point will be easier for him.
I like it. If there's one guy I knew that would support this, because there have been
the other guy normally sitting here ain't supportive of that.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, a lot of guys in your position, guys that won championships and titles, they're all about the leave on the highest note possible. You got out without the huge injury, all that. But you've always said, I mean, that's what you live, man. You just kept on racing.
The money and the trophies don't go to the grave. Only the memories.
That's
so
right.
I think do it while you can.
Mm-hmm. He's making new ones. Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks for hanging out all the entire hour, Chad. Appreciate it. And he's got more work to do because he's got to go talk to his combine kids if they're awake.
I
don't
think
know.
they're gone.
They might be done.
I think they're gone.
That's staging area here on the Monster Energy stage. Thanks for hanging with us. Be here tomorrow morning, bright and early. It's RedBud, everybody. It doesn't get any better than this. Thanks to the fans. Let's hear it. We'll see you tomorrow.